Yo, it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Yo, I just pulled up real quick. I mean, it's no game on tonight, but I wanted to, I'm reading this book. It's called The History of the Nets from T-Neck to Brooklyn, and it's a really good book. And in memory of Herb Turetsky, he was the scorer he was the he was Nets official scorekeeper for 54 years, and he passed away on April 4th this year. And I kind of just wanted to give him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he deserved it. Um, his book. I mean, the book starts with his foreword. Uh, I'm gonna read it. If you're a Nets fan, you're the best fans. And I just wanted to give him a shout out because, as a Nets fan, I appreciate Herb Turetsky. So I wanted to say rest in peace to Herb Turetsky, and that we love you, the Nets. So the foreword starts. It says, in our 1975, 19, it's in our championship season, 1975 to 1976. It took every ounce of courage, willpower, and fine play for us to beat the team with the best regular season record, the Denver Nuggets. Impressive 60-24 record did not intimidate us, despite the fact that we were 5 games back with a record of 55-29. What made us a bit nervous was the fact that the Nuggets had the home court advantage and that we had lost 7 games during the season at the 18,000 seat McNichols Arena in Denver. Um, this is Herb Turetsky words. He's talking about the 1975-1976 season, and yeah. So he goes on to say, in the first game of the championship finals, we showed up with a healthy and confident team, including the Dr. Julius Erving, who was ready to operate. We took a 9-point lead in the third quarter. Denver came back by the end of the fourth quarter and had a chance to win. Breathing in 5,280 feet altitude in a mile high city was a challenge. We fixed that by bringing oxygen tanks. Wow. They brought oxygen tanks to Denver to play basketball because I guess it's that much different. Shout to my guy P. He out there in Denver right now. I should be doing this with him. I'm a revisit this. Hopefully he could do it with me. Um, yeah. So he says we fixed that by bringing oxygen tanks. During breaks, we would put on oxygen masks and took in a little extra air to revitalize our lungs. But the secret was not the tanks, but the doctor, who scored several clutch baskets, including a final second jumper from the right corner at the buzzer to seal the victory. We mobbed them and danced into the locker room with great joy. Doc scored 45 points, and we got our first win in Denver and the most important victory of the year. We lost the next game at Denver, then won 2 at home and traveled back to Denver up 3-1 in an attempt to clinch the series in Game 5. Not only did we lose a tough Game 5 to narrow the series lead to 3-2, we also found ourselves down 22 in the third in our last home game of the series. The man of the hour in Game 6 was the late Super John Williamson. John came through when he needed this. When we needed this, we needed his offense the most. He scored the crucial 16 points in the fourth quarter and total 24 in the second half. Oh my God, yo, I'm sorry, man. I'm reading the foreword to Brian Taylor. Brian Taylor was the point guard. Um, he was the point guard of that championship team in 75-76. So I'll just continue. Now I'll get to Herb Turetsky in a second. Um, what he says, Brian, and I met Brian Taylor. I met him at the practice in the park. I met Brian Taylor at the practice in the park. Real cool dude. Tall as hell. It looked like he was probably 6'4", a little taller than that. Cool guy, man. Real cool guy, man. Um, our pressing defense and determination to win were just as important as the clutch baskets that Super John made. Lots of champagne, hooting, and hollering in the locker room remained fresh in my mind. It was a glorious celebration. Many people believe our 1973-74 team was the better New York Nets championship squads before the 1975-1976 season. Management traded away 2 of the team's all-stars, Billy Porter and Larry Kinnon. That decision called for a great discussion, which continues today. Which of the two championship teams were the best? As to the answer, I leave that to our wonderful fans. Both teams were great. I was a lucky guy to be on both. I'm eager to tell you more, but this great book will do that for the fortunate readers, which is a fact. I'm started reading and then I started over and now I'm reading again. I mean, just the beginning of this book is amazing. I haven't even finished or even gotten close to the end of this book. Great book, great book. But yeah, man, I was trying to read the foreword for Herb Turetsky, man. Sorry. Um, let me see. What did I just read? Yeah, that was definitely Brian Taylor's. That was definitely Brian Taylor's forward. I apologize, but yes, I'm glad you guys heard that as well. But this is Herb Turetsky's. On October 23rd, 1967, I went to Teaneck Armory to watch my neighborhood friend and basketball hero Tony Jackson play for the New Jersey Americans in their first game in the newly established American Basketball Association. I had no idea this game would change my life forever. When I walked into the gym, I noticed standing in the corner speaking with the team head coach and general manager Max Saslovsky. I knew Max quite well, having helped him out with previous seasons when he organized a semi-pro AAU team, the ABC Freighters, financed by millionaire Arthur Brown and his ABC Freight Forwarding Company. A native hoopster from our Brownsville neighborhood in Brooklyn who had played at Jefferson High School and St. John's University, as Tony also had done. I think my mom's went to Jefferson High School. I gotta double check. Max went with familiar local players to fill out his new team's roster. Instinctively, he signed up local collegiate players, starting with my very good friends from St. John's NIT and Holiday Festival champs, All-American Bobby McIntyre guards Bobby Duo, my part-time housemate, and Dan Macia, my best friend through high school and college, and forward Hank Clues. Then he added forward Joe Martini and center Albie Grant, classmates of mine at Brooklyn Long Island University, as well as Harlem's Dexter Westbrook, a center from Providence College. The Freighters practice and play their home games in nearby Xavier High School on Manhattan's West 16th Street. Max added in a few local players, including me, at almost every practice. It was a lot of fun for me at a gym rat. This background came greatly into play when I met Tony and Max at the Teaneck Armory before the Americans' historic opening night game. And yeah, it was something else. What is it? What is it? He was talking about Herb Turetsky. I was reading it and he kind of gave a little more thorough about who he is and what's going on with him. And it was just a fun read, you know. Oh, this is the part right here. He says, I went specifically to watch my neighborhood friend Tony Jackson, who I allowed straight through college in every one of his games at the Garden for St. John's. Tony was the best coming out of Brownsville and Brooklyn that we had ever seen. After St. John's, he got involved in that scandal, quotation marks, and blackballed by the NBA. He bounced around in the ABL and anywhere else he could play in the Eastern League. And then the ABA came to life, and he was the Americans' first draft choice. I went there to see Tony play against Connie Hawkins, who I had seen played in high school and probably the best ever out of Brooklyn, really. My goal was to see those guys play against each other. When I walked in and saw Max and Tony, and the three of us got together. All of us from the same neighborhood in Brownsville. We all went to Jefferson High School and knew each other. Max, I knew from the previous years from when he was coaching the AAU team, the ABC Freighters, and I was keeping score at their home games and helped them out at practice and work with the guys. They were friends of mine. We knew each other. Max knew what I was able to do. We started talking about the game, and he said to me, can you do us a favor? We need some help at the scorer's table. Would you please score the game for us tonight? So I went and sat down at center court, and I was the official scorer that night, and I never left that position. 2,200 some odd games that I've done, and hopefully I'll be able to do a long time more. And that's it, man. I just wanted to pull up real quick and kick it with y'all, let y'all know about Herb Turetsky, give him his flowers. He was the net scorer for 50 plus years. I think what is it, 55 years, 56 years. And just a great all around great guy, man. And it just shows that the Nets players like people like Turetsky. Shows you what it's like to be a fan of a team, and why he's a fan of this specific team. And this is it's a very refreshing read. Uh and I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. It's just a pull up and kick it with y'all. But yeah, man, I'll be back later, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.